Welcome, everyone. This is the VASOLabs update for November 3rd, 2022. This is for all our medical providers and patients that use our service, just some of the few things that are coming online. Welcome, and thanks for being here with me. I'm going to share my screen number 1, and we can start going through some of these on the agenda here. So I'm calling you from my office here in Salt Lake City, Bountiful, Utah, actually, about 10 minutes north of Salt Lake. I'm in an office building. I have a private area where I work and develop on this ultrasound science. My goal is to give you visuals, to give you data that your patient can use and access for themselves. So a couple things from the physician portal, from your portal.vasolabs.com, which you should all have access to. You should be able to pull up a report just like this, where the images are embedded. Arrows in the images point at any plaque or inflammation that the technician has pointed out. This particular patient is myself. I've scanned myself about 50 times in the last year, more, and I've graphed it all for you. So you can see how much walk there is, measurement over measurement. We'll get to that in a minute. Just for reference, this is normal-ish looking intima, about 0.5 millimeter. And as we move into the bifurcation of the bulb, where the artery splits into two, there's some inflammation that I have that I'm working on. Now, this test will talk to you about plaque and inflammation. So this is my average thickness of my wall, my carotid artery wall. This is my intima media. This is compared to the ERIC, ARIC research study, 10,000 people over 10 years. And I have an avascular age of 34 years old, putting me in the 30th percentile for inflammation. These three boxes talk about the same thing. Now, plaque is another disease. This is arteriosclerosis. This is the burdening of the walls. And I have some inflammation in my bifurcations that I need to address. I'll let you all know what I'm finding as far as fixing myself. Looks like blood sugar needs to be managed a little better. Got some cholesterol tests back. We can talk about that if you'd like to. Nice. This is an opportunity for you to share with your patient what's going on, what they see, and how to improve it. So the main reason I built this report is, let's say you have a patient with borderline cholesterol, and you know the conversation you're going to have. They're going to say, well, I'll change my diet and exercise. I don't want to go on a statin. Whatever change, they don't want to do it. So 6 months later, you meet back and they acquiesce, whatever. It's the story you have all the time. It wastes 6 months of everybody's life. If they get this test and they see that their inflammation's fine, or if it is not fine, or if they have plaque and inflammation in their arteries, this is a great chance to move that patient on and get them in charge of their health. That's exactly what this tool is for. So patients are happy to pay about $200 cash for it. We've had great success lately, and it's all here. The next question I get a lot is, if it's found in my neck, will I see it in my heart? Oh, a couple more. Report turnaround's been 48 hours for the last couple of weeks. So if you've uploaded to us, you should have them. The images are now embedded in the report. The report is now called Vasometrics. This is our Vasometrics report because we measure plaque and inflammation. It's a name for what we do. If you are a VASOLab customer and you upload images directly to us, you are now a VASOUPLOAD customer, where we generate the report and get it back to you for your practice. We are bringing on new people all the time, and we've really good momentum lately. So thank you. It's heartwarming to see people this interested in their own cardiovascular health. Research contract has just been extended next year, working with Exponent, doing some really cool projects. So first, how we want to give doctors, you all, a tool to help patients talk about this, to understand it. So we are building up a bunch of blogs on the questions we get most common. And the question this week was, if I find plaque in my neck, will it be seen in my heart? And the answer is, yeah, there's a pretty tight correlation used by angiography, dental x-rays, other modalities, that if we find a plaque in the neck, 98% chance based on these studies that there is a similar sized plaque in the heart for you. Now, plaque comes in different flavors, of course. This little graph is great. It tells you when you have a focalized plaque, which is the most common, or a diffuse, where that just garbage everywhere. And your patient will want to know. So we're making this accessible and available to you. Share with your patient. All these articles are on the link. Call the office if you don't have access, and we'll get it to you. Next is angiograms. This is a great one. I got my model here. And what this is, as I understand it, is nobody wants to go on a statin, but are they useful? Are they dangerous? Well, nobody likes them. They're the redheaded stepchild and red yeast rice derivatives of statins, and there's a bunch of them. And if the summary of the research, I'll start here, is I don't like them, but they do have a place. Somewhere around 40, 50, 60, people's bodies just start developing plaque. They're not as resilient, and this process just happens. So does a statin work? Yeah, it works in that it reduces events in mass populations. It also works in calcifying plaque. I think I've shown you all before. Rosuvastatin plaque picture. That's a really good plaque picture where they show the calcification of a plaque over time. Here it is. And this plaque, it's got some soft pockets. Now, remember, in ultrasound, density is brightness. This black area is liquid. It's the blood. And inside this plaque, this is a growth in the wall. You see these liquid cores. And over time, this rosuvastatin, which does a good job in what it does, has shrunken these cores of soft gelatinous goo over a period of a year or 2 years, and made them safer and more calcified for the patient. That's incredible work. So if you're over the age where your body's generating plaque and you've tried diet and exercise and it's not working, it's time to consider a statin. I'm not pitching for any of them, but the research is unavoidable. It does good. Small doses of a statin appear to work. Talk to your physician and find out more. But this, what we're getting at is that with angiography, here's this article, we are finding that we can't quite tell how much blockage there is by angiography. So new tools like ultrasound catheters are coming in, where they actually snake the ultrasound up into your heart and they poke around and they can see the buildup on the walls. So just for an example, let's stop sharing my screen for just a second. And you can see a plaque. This is a rude model of a plaque in the artery. Looking at a cross section of it, it would appear like this. But as the disease progresses and the plaque becomes more diffuse, you'll end up getting just a circle, not that lump. The body will totally push it out. And the reason it does that is there's consistent blood pressure inside that artery. And that plaque eventually, as the body remodels, remember, your cells regenerate all the time. Every 7 years, you've got a fresh batch, except for your brain and a few other places. But the arteries will remodel. Your body is incredibly resilient. Let me tell you a couple stories. I was up in Idaho scanning, and I scanned this patient, overweight, didn't take care of himself. That's okay. I don't judge. And I was looking at their artery here in the neck, and I saw this geometric pattern in their neck. And I said, do you have a stent put in your heart, which is a catheter to open it up? And the patient says, I don't know. And that blew me away, because how would you not know if a stent was put into your heart? So I went and got the chart. This is paper, opened it up, found it. And apparently the cardiologist had stented their heart. And while they were in there, they went up and opened up some arteries for this patient. But that they did not know, did not care, blew me away. Second story. Scan a lot of patients. Some of them are 90, 95, 99% blocked. And I'm really working to find that pathway of blood through their artery. And in the research, it says that the first symptom for most people is sudden death of a heart attack or stroke. They have no idea it's coming. So I thought, for sure, this patient with 99% blockage in their artery would be dizzy. Hey, patient, do you get dizzy when you stand up? No, the patient said. They didn't get. Your body is an incredible biological, gene-driven machine. And we're getting better at learning how to manage this biological robot. But for right now, we're learning that your body is pretty incredible. It figures out a way to get that blood through. So the only way to truly know if you're heart attack and stroke proof is to look. VASOLabs, where you bring this test to your office, we will show you how open you are, any clogs, any arteries, and the research is it's solid. There's 30 years of research looking at this. Statin companies, Lipitor, Crestor, Rosuvastatin, all these companies base their research on showing a regression, showing the arteries getting thinner, or at least stopping getting thicker. And plaque will become calcified. All of their research studies have to prove this test to be validated. So it's there. Now, does statin use affect the brain? Great research. This Attia guy, I got to read more up on him, but he really thought it through and he looked it up. And yeah, as of now, there's no research saying it affects the brain. And other research says it's type 3 diabetes, brain deterioration diseases. Anyways, I'll read into that more next week. But this is the weekly summary for VASOLabs. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a good day.